No, many people seem shy. We have some questions. We have one person who tried to think through it and did share quite a bit because she tried to recognize that this is a very difficult situation, especially if one is a newer or student at a lower stage. How do you even recognize the achievement of a guru to be able to choose one? So for her, she just didn't think that you could follow the guidelines of immediately trusting one, because she thinks that there must not be a fixed, simple way to find the right guru, especially if you're a new student, because you wouldn't know who to follow.
Okay, that's someone's common.
Yes, well, it's quite extensive, so I tried to summarize it. It's 6 paragraphs or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like another one. This person thinks that we have to distinguish between if the guru is giving a pure intellectual teaching or a real teaching, and try to tell the difference between an intellectual teaching and a real teaching, so that if to decide.
Okay.
Another person, I think, is pointing out that they need to look at the lineage, and the lineage mean teachers and teaching and the activities of the Sangha and the Sangha members around the teacher, and their photo and their birthday. Photo and birthday.
Okay.
Okay. Don't see anyone else yet, Rinpoche.
Okay. Okay, what I saying, why I saying these things, because there is so extensive details talk about this subject, but the main theme is saying, first you analyze, you investigate your teacher very well. Second, after investigation, you decide who's your teacher, and then you emulate everything what teachers say, and you never analyze, even not make sense. Still you have to believe, almost like that. When I say almost, why I said almost, I will explain you. So, okay, sorry, I say again. The first one is investigation. Second one is, how do you say? The best treatment, your teacher. And whatever treat you, whatever way of treat you, regardless how treat you, you treat the best possibility. And however whatever seems not fair or anything, you still have to take as skillful means. However, is like appears foolish and impure or not fair, every bad possibilities you appear as your teacher, you still have to believe a skillful means. So therefore you teach the best. It's, the essence is like that. So that few words we think about is something go beyond normal human relationship. So I think we need to understand how, why, how come. And also we need some distinct details inside, otherwise it's hard to make sense. Okay? So that is the reason I want to go this carefully. The traditional people, they not think about this. They simply believe. But this new culture, for new people, I think I see there's so many complications arise years and years later. So that's why it's very important and a serious subject. And I want to try to show you the best possibility, what we can do in any situation, not only situation all goes smooth, but if we have a rough situation, then how we deal with. I want to try to tell you those, okay? So that's why I'm gonna agree, this is not easy. It is serious because all the tradition teachings say that this is the root of all the goodness of enlightened path. So that means your relationship with the teacher goes very well, then your enlightened path goes very well. If it's a medium, then it's medium. If it's not good, then it's not good. Is meaning like that. Therefore is serious. So from the beginning, we can understand carefully, and then we take seriously. Okay? So let's say the first one, how you investigate the teacher is good enough for you as shown at the Enlightenment path. When I look at many people, are different problems for the traditional people and non-traditional people. For the traditional people, the problem is they take very seriously, or if you listen one line of the teaching, then you have to consider as a teacher. So they're scared of that. So they are very be careful in not listen any Lama's teachings unless they have faith, they have trust. You can say, oh, that is good, but I think it's not good. I'll tell you my opinion. It's your choice which one you agree. You don't have to agree with me. I see is a problem, not a very good strategy. Why is the problem is, okay, you be careful in is okay, but how you be careful in is not good enough. Because your be careful in is you follow in others, not your own understanding. So that means you follow others. Oh, this Lama must be good. Many people follow. You know, or many people trust, so must be good. The only method is that. Okay, 1,000 people follow, then is must be good. But 100 people follow may be good. But as only 10 people follow, oh, definitely not good enough. Not trust enough. So their strategy is only this. Because you don't want to listen anything from Lama. You don't want to learn anything because you thought you have to know before learn. So it's bad because your way of analyzing is not really analyzing, not investigating. You just simply follow others like sheep. So later on, if you have problem, your trust, your faith, your devotion cannot fix. Because you are from the beginning wrong. Wrong means you expect good because by others. So others cannot help you. Because your karma is not with others. Every individual have different karma, different karmic connection. So that's why, in my viewpoint, that's not good enough. So then later on you have problem, they pretend to have no problem. That's all. They do that. That's it. Simple. So now, when I look at non-traditional people, which means new, which means you are not born as a Buddhist. You are not born in a Buddhist culture. you learn a new idea, new relationship. Those people, which is most of you, fall in this path, in this category. Then what I see the problem is, of course, many different people have different individual problems. But what I see often in general, some of them, of course, they're doing similar of what traditional people do. But others, you go like shopping way, shopping. You listen to the Lama, this Lama, or go or teachings, everything. And then, whichever you feel okay, whatever reason, you choose that one more, the other one, the others, you disregard as a teacher. Could we have many reasons? Many different reasons, but there's something common main reason is you think is it absolutely your choice. You don't have any responsibility at all. Whatever you choose. That's when I have a little bit of problem. Why? You forgot that Buddha said, even you listen one line of teaching, if you disregard, then it's very heavy negative karma. So you forgot that. You disregarding that. That's one problem. Second problem, you may not analyzing, or you may not analyzing, but your way of analyze not necessarily a correct way. If you are falling into the same as the traditional one problem, but maybe the other way, you have some problem. So this all problem. So I want now why is a problem and how we can solve this. If your method of investigation without knowing the teacher, what do you say, like our photo, lineage, and the other things, those is not good enough. Yes, I know some people say, oh, if I know, if I see the photo, then I already know. Some people claim that, some people lineage or many other methods. all over them. It is okay, you can look at. You can look at the website. You can look at anything possible. But those is not the primary important way of investigation. Those only considered as secondary. Why? Because you can cheat, you can lie, you can set up a very nice website, you can do many things. That's not good enough. Somebody claims incredible have lineage or incredible have many reincarnation. Those things is not good enough. Even a big monastery behind all of them, not good enough. Why? Because who knows, there is some politics, some arrangement. Those things you cannot. Those things you can still check, maybe help you a little bit, but nothing guaranteed. So, then what is more important? What this Lama done and what is his will do? What is future plans? What is the primary Lama's goal? What is he has been done and what he will do? What he has done or what he will do is matched a renunciation, is matched a bodhicitta. This is, I think, the important. If you can, you investigate this one a little bit more. And also, is this Lama learned? Somebody say, oh, somebody given teaching intellectual or not real teaching. But even as an intellectual, he's still better than no intellectual. To understand Buddhism, even intellectually, not that easy, not small. So Buddha's Dharma, somebody intellectually know very well, means your teacher cannot be the worst one. I cannot guarantee the best one, but I cannot, almost we can guarantee, cannot be the worst one. So that's why is he learned? Is he ethical? This is important. You cannot judge 100%. Also, you don't need to judge 100%. but a rough idea, roughly what he done and what he do and what he will do, what she did, what he or she done and do and will do. Then you know, roughly is learn it, it is ethical, and the mostly important, it is compassionate. What he or she done in the past is related with compassion. What he doing now is anything related with compassion. What we'll do is related with love and compassion. That's important. But that's also only on the paper, only on the website, or rare activities connect with compassion. Yes or no? Okay? I think that is you need to check. But more importantly, not just the website and those things, activities, but can you learn this personally? How can you know the real person? That's quite important. That's more important than actually any other way. So if you need this investigation, the best way, personal relationship, then is the complication start. Why? Because it's very hard to build a personal relationship. You not listen any teachings, one line of teaching. It's very hard. Because this teacher must be, if the teacher must be teaching, so then your way of connecting must be through the teachings. Yeah, but some people seems like their teacher no need teaching. Then is very different story. Some people, they want to have a master who doesn't teach at all, but a huge name, huge title, that is good enough. Then I don't know. But if you are genuinely want teacher, and then the best way you can build a relationship through the teachings. Any other possibilities, opportunities, of course, the best opportunity. But that not appears often. That not have often. So then is only teachings. Teaching also not easy at all in the ancient time. But now, thank you, this tech knowledge allow us, if you are pay attention, you have the opportunity to listen the teachings. So this is the best way of you building connection. But we have one problem we didn't solve. That is, okay, what about the Buddha said, if you not as considered teacher, even you listen to one line of teaching. What we going to do with this one after you listen many teachings and after that you don't have a respect and difficult consider is your teacher? Then what we do? That's one problem. We have to solve this problem. Okay? I hope you understood. We have to solve this problem. How I solve this problem? I discuss many people, no idea. So I have some ideas. I hope you agree with. So that means from the beginning, when you investigate in teacher, you can do all of your methods. It's whatever you have the methods. We don't have to limit it. You can do all of them. However, the best way, you have to build in personal relationship. Personal means, you know, minimum personal means like this way. We are discussing, teaching, you know, and nowadays we have videos. All of them you should listen. That's minimum level. But still is maximum compared to the other methods. Better way. And then, no is your teacher or not? The answer very easy. Have you learned anything from these teachings related with enlightenment path? If you did, then you cannot disregard. Why? Because this is not right even in normal relationship. Anybody, any kind of benefits give you, you disregard, zero gratitude is not right. That's why every single actions we have, oh, thank you, thanks. Even we become just fake habit, the thank yous. But from the beginning, why we have to pretend thank you? Because of that reason. It's a fundamental wrong if you don't have any gratitude and any benefits. That's why. And this time, your small benefits is something to do with your enlightenment. Your enlightenment means, remember, okay? This is forever. The forever is a benefit. When I say forever benefits, I'm not talking about this small thing benefit you forever, you can see it. I'm not saying that. But this belongs to it and contribute to the forever benefits. So that's why you can't disregard. So don't disregard. And you don't need to disregard. No benefit to disregard. You don't have even benefits even in the fundamental life. So you don't need disregard. Okay? But one more. That means, is he or she is my only teacher? Is my root teacher? Don't think about that. My advice, you don't think about is only or not only. You can have many teachers as you like. What I saw is so many people ideas, oh, you can have only one teacher. Or, oh, you can have many teachers, but you can have only one root teacher. And once you decided that, then you can't decide again. That kind of, I think people have many misconceptions. Whoever taught, I think we should get rid of all of this. Why? Why you have to very bias? You don't need bias. Whoever making these rules very biased, whoever presenting these rules are very biased, I think is wrong. Why is it wrong? Is wrong based on the fundamental human values. In the fundamental human values, is somebody who is very biased is good, or somebody very unbiased better? Which one is better? Which one is a high value? This means basically somebody is very racist is better, or somebody not racist, not discriminate better. So similar. So don't think this way. Oh, you can have only one root teacher. Why? Why? Oh, because maybe text said, such and such text say, this is the one root teacher. This is, you cannot change. You may have some words, but the words have a deeper meaning, not just a letter. The deeper meaning is, if this text say, or your teacher is somebody gives you empowerment and instructions and teachings, these three, then is your root lama. Anybody did not, is not your root lama. That means a guideline. And you don't have to stick with this guideline. You take this literally and guideline, and you fix it on that in an unflexible way. You don't have to do that. Instead, the guideline is only helping. But if you know something more than the guideline, you can fear something better than the guideline, then you don't need to follow the guideline. What that means? Oh, if I feel much better with another lama, then I disregard who gave me empowerment, everything I disregard? No, not that way. whatever the reality says, whatever the reality happening between you and your teacher, then you don't disregard that. Okay, somebody else happening in your life really helping in your spiritual path, then you just follow that without regarding the other Lama. Without disregarding the other Lama. You don't need disregards. But also, you don't take everything literal. When you need it, you can take as guideline. When something happening more than guideline, then you stay with that. Why you have to think of one another? Because these two lamas, if rare lamas, he or she interest number one is your liberation. So whatever way is liberating more, and then this must be your root teacher. If it's equally, then equal. You must be having two root teachers. If it's 3, 4, 5, or 1, or none. Even is known, still you learned something, so still is your teacher, all of them. If you have too many friends, is it a big problem? I'm talking about a rare friend. If you have no problem, many rare friends, then you shouldn't have any problem having many rare lamas, rare teachers. But if you want to put more focus and more energy on one lama, that should not have any problem with the other lamas. If they have problem, that means, that means you didn't need to investigate this lama. Himself shows he is not real. His number one interest is not your liberation. So then you don't need to disregard it. He or she already disregarded. So then after you can disregard if you like. Because it's not your problem. It's not your fault. He himself saying, I'm a fake. I pretend interest in your liberation, but actually my interest is on you. You are my belonging. So you didn't need it, investigate. So from the beginning, you came with a pure mind. If you can, a pure mind. Then you stay a pure mind. And then finally, you didn't need to stay a pure mind. That happened. Even you're not completely pure from the beginning, that's okay too. But you, from the beginning, you did try your best. Not pure mind, but you tried. You try non-judgmental. And then you stay a little gratitude. And then finally, you didn't do anything bad, immoral. You didn't need to. So, this is a more simple way to go, I think. But again, which level of relationship you want, that also a different story. You want like a patimoksha way of teacher is good enough for you, that you're looking for, or you looking for a Mahayana Bodhisattva way you looking for, or you looking for a Vajrayana, a master you looking for. Which kind of relationship you want to build with, that's also you have to clear in your mind. Why? Because they have different bases and a different requirements and different goals. So you can't mix them all together. But what I said so far is sharing from everyone. Sharing from all of this. Everybody shares these three categories. But then you make more specific, each of them, then at different degrees. So first, instead you analyze teacher too much, I think you should analyze yourself very well. Which path I'm looking for? What kind of expectations I have? What kind of strategies I'm going to use according to the requirements? That you should think about. So that means if you're looking for only patimoksha teacher, then you need respect at least 60% respect and trust at 50% minimum. I'm talking only minimum, okay? Maximum doesn't matter, there's no maximum. But you love is 30% minimum is okay, as long as you have a little bit higher respect and trust. But your love and devotion is a minimum 30% is good enough to entrain the path. If the Bodhisattva path, you need 90% trust, a minimum level. It's like your best friend, the most wisest, close friend. Like that. So you respect, it's okay, 80%. But you trust very high because you are very close friends like that. So Patimoksha teacher is like your respected boss, your work boss, but good boss, very good boss. You don't have to love in tremendously. So if it's Vajrayana teacher, if you really like to build up, maybe it will be difficult to say 100% for everybody who is in trained path, but a minimum level, you have 95, minimum level 95, trust, 95, respect, 95, love and devotion. That is the most minimum, otherwise impossible. Impossible. You have Vajrayana teacher relationship, no possible. If you have just Sutayana relationship and then you pretend Vajrayana relationship, that's okay. You just pretending. That's okay. But it's not, it's better than zero, so that's why we're doing. I'm trying to teach you really the most essence, the critical parts. I'm not teaching you details, please. You have to learn from the book. Okay? I try to teach you the most difficult. People usually confused, but they didn't know even they are confused. That part, I'm pulling up this part, I'm teaching you, try to teach you. And the details, many people know, many books have it. And my book have even more details. So please try to read the book on this subject. So if you have, so now I want to tell you a little bit why our trust, respect, and love is very important any kind of relationship. Why all of them share this? It's quite simple. Any work, any project you do is you feel comfortable and easy to do with somebody you trust, do this job, do this project, or you don't care the trust or not. I mean, that kind of trust is to able to do the job and not lazy, and it's thoroughly doing and communicate very well. That kind of trust. These three trusts you need. to do any project. So the project relationship is the most minimum level. So minimum level, you need that. You don't need tremendous love and distance, but you need trust. If it's no trust, very difficult. Then higher of this, then higher level of relationship. So the most high one is your spiritual teacher's relationship. So why don't require this most high trust, high love, closeness? But there is one tricky thing. When you are very, very close, there is a good part and very bad part. That also shares with any kind of relationship. When you are very close to the parents, is one way is very good. I don't have to say how good. But the one is bad because you don't take too seriously. You're too relaxed. So the parents told you many advice, you didn't listen. But one day you go expensive class and you learn something, but that's something already your parents told you long time ago, many times. That happens. That happens many times for many people because that is too close, too relaxed. With the teacher also, these things can happen sometimes. If you are too close, you are too relaxed, then very important things you missing. Even teacher told you, not enough pay attention. You forget very quickly. And something even worse than that is we are ordinary person based on karmic cause and conditions. So you very easily to see this teacher is very ordinary as a normal human being. Very extremely hard to see the exceptional qualities. Not easy to see, but very easy to see normal human heroes. So that's also have to be careful. But these two, if you be careful and mindful enough, then is good. You have close relationship with your teacher. But normal people are very difficult to balance this. So better to have a little bit distant with the teacher. That's why very, very high lamas, very important ones, they say, oh, better to a little bit distant because they can start to see, oh, the teacher is not totally pure. But there is no such thing, teacher is pure or not pure. They ultimately your karmic version. If your karma is good, the teacher also appears good. And then if your own karma is not good, is a teacher also appears this because your own karmic version. You can't see anything else. That's only we see. So please, so The love is the most incredible value in the mundane life. We all know. And if you have something even greater love, that basis, your relationship with teacher is built on that basis. How can be not good? How can be not powerful? We know even like parents love the children is so powerful, and they can sacrifice their lives for children. And romantic love is so powerful as sometimes suicide for this. Yeah, we know these love stories. You guys know much more than me. So how come if we, this kind of powerful love basis and goal is something enlightenment, to liberate all sentient beings, how can be not powerful? Absolutely powerful. That's why Guru Yoga bases on that. Okay? So that's why I say Guru Yoga say, you offering trillions Buddhas, or you are offering very little your teacher, which one more powerful? Or the text say, the teacher. So you have to know why, how come? So could be have many reasons. But one reason I want to tell you, because the teacher doing the job for you personally more than Buddha, more than all the Buddhas. He or she is a representative of all Buddhas of 3 times. Secondly, your teacher is your level, a human, and you can have human love between you and the teacher. And your ultimate loyalty is called devotion. The higher level of the loyalty we call devotion. So don't mistake with bias and the devotion. Okay? The bias is based on samsaric reason and samsaric feeling. And this high level of devotion is not based on samsaric reason, is not somebody forcing you and that role. You take voluntarily, naturally, you want to take that, so is voluntary. Voluntary loyalty, the highest loyalty, we call devotion. So that's why it's powerful. This is very personal, okay? When we understand Vajrayana, we have to think is very personal. All the Vajrayana stuff is very personal, nothing to do with much to the world. That means your best teacher could be crazy, or it's terrible one in appears for normal world, could be still no problem. If your personal level is good enough, you don't care that. But Sutrayana level, all these ones is a little bit have to be appear good appearance to the world. Okay? So I hope you have some questions now.
Yes, Rinpoche, we have quite a few already. So let me start with one that got emailed in. What happens if a disciple falls in love with the kind, rude guru? Yesterday, you mentioned to avoid having samsaric types of relationships and feelings towards the root guru. So are these feelings bad to fall in love with the root guru? Because this person was once told that this is not pure devotion if they get attached to the root guru, and it can cause problems.
Yes, of course, not pure devotion. Because when you say are falling in love, you using that is no more samsaric words, and then the meaning is exactly like the usual typical fall in love. Then of course not pure love. That part is bad, but the good thing is, remember, if you know really how to practice Vajrayana, then nothing's abundant. Remember, everything useful. So your fall in love, feeling also useful. But you cannot be useful exactly in a samsaric way of expectation. But you can use in another way as a trance, a trance, pure devotion, unconditional love is possible.
So, Rinpoche, if the student and the teacher are both human beings and not fully enlightened beings, how is it not that the blind is leading the blind when a student pretends that their teacher is not blind? So they're saying
Pretend what?
they pretend the teacher is not blind. So they're saying you're trying to pretend that the teacher is enlightened when they're just human beings.
Blind?
Blind, like can't see. He's asking if they're both human beings and we acting like one is enlightened, how is it not just like blind people people who can't see trying to guide each other?
Yeah, I think this question is already you are based on samsara, because you said that both teacher and the student both are not enlightened being. So the question, how do you know this teacher is not enlightened being? Because this teacher and your karmic version of the teacher is, you have to distinguish. So not only this teacher, but other than yourself, any sentient being you cannot decide is not enlightened being. Regardless the appearances. You have to distinguish always appearance and the reality. So that means if you are incredible, skillful person and mindful, you can think any sentient being always thinking, oh, could be enlightened or would be enlightened. You can think that way. But usually we don't advise that. That is almost impossible for normal people. So we advise only teacher is you should think is enlightened being. When we say distance, we're not talking about the appearance of the teacher is enlightened being. We're talking about the reality of the appearance of the teacher is an enlightened being. So why we pointed at teacher? Because if the teacher you cannot think could enlightened being, then you cannot think anybody else. Not possible. Because the teacher already have many characteristics and qualities have to be teacher. The teacher's qualification. Somebody already have that one is more easier to think enlightened being rather than a normal ordinary person. I hope you understand that.
Rinpoche, do we need to have direct contact with our guru or master, like face to face? Some students have dreams of their guru, and the guru gives advice to the student in the dreams and maybe uses ordinary language that he can't use in the daytime. So do we need direct contact, and is a guru teaching you in the dream truly the guru?
The teacher in the dream and the teacher in the daytime is the same level of truth. They both is a relative truth, not ultimate truth. So doesn't matter what the language you use in, as long as you understand, it makes sense to you, that's good enough.
Rinpoche, how do we look at devotion to our guru once the guru passes away? So if our guru is dead.
What?
This person's asking, how do we have devotion to the guru, or how does our devotion change when the guru dies?
How we can have devotion and what?
They're wondering what to do when their guru. So if your guru passes away, dies, they're wondering.
Yes.
They're wondering how their devotion changes, or what to do, how to see the guru at that point.
So that means you didn't understood the appearance of guru and guru, real guru. Real guru never passed away, only the appearance of guru passed away. Okay? So that means the relative guru or appearance guru is same. This person is died, which means your karmic version of guru is passed away, but the real guru is never passed away, is always the same. And that is part of your Buddha nature, regardless whatever appears. So your devotion, if this person died, then you cannot have devotion. That means that means is like even this person have no reincarnation, no emanation, nothing, you know. It's like died means finish, not that. So your devotion is, it doesn't have to do something physically you have to contact. Your devotion means your love, basically. If your love is vanished with death, that's very strange. because usually even you love person is not vanish when this person die. So the love can remain. This person is died means this appearance, one level of appearance is dissolved into another dimension. Does that make sense?
Yes, it made sense. The next person's wondering if they had a guru in their previous life, can they find a different guru in this life?
Don't even worry about that. So if you find a guru this life, more likely your guru person life, but it doesn't matter. It's as long as you have a guru, that's enough. Whoever you love, their devotion, that's enough. Whoever gives you a light in your life, in mind, that's good enough. You don't need to worry about the previous life again to be going to be jealous or something. No. Or you saying something, oh, I'm doing, how do you say, unethical, or you shouldn't think that way. This all is very, very, very a worldly way of thinking. Very samsaric way of thinking.
So the next person asks, is
Okay.
Vajrayana dangerous without a guru?
I can't hear much.
Is Vajrayana dangerous without a guru?
There is no Vajrayana without guru, basically, danger or not danger. So you may think, oh, Vajrayana is something you read in text, and then you do some yoga or something, you think that's Vajrayana? No, that's not Vajrayana. Vajrayana, you have to have based on love and devotion, and at least some degree of pure perception. So there is no Vajrayana without guru. The guru doesn't have to be like a Tibetan tradition, wherein, or Indian, or Mongolian, or Bhutanese. It doesn't have to be like that. The guru could be your partner, or anybody, your friends, if you are good, if you are really understand enough, if you really have love, pure love and devotion. But you have to have a guru who knows how to teach you Vajrayana path.
So Rinpoche, how do we have devotion without having attachment? And how do we have love without craving and clinging?
Because attachment, you have to understand the first attachment and clinging and the love and devotion, all of them are different aspects. Okay? There is sharing similar nature, but is different aspects, a different emphasis. So once you know them are different emphasis or different aspect, then one is reducing one is higher. Basically, is balanced. It doesn't have to go zero.
So Rinpoche, I think I'm understanding that I have to learn to see the master as pure, even if he is not, because it will benefit me. How do I learn how to do this?
You learn minimum level way. You just have to learn not after you decided, oh, this is my teacher, my beloved teacher, and then you don't never think about the problems appears your teacher, weaknesses appears. You always appear that, so, oh, this is only my karmic version, not the reality of my teacher. And then whenever you have, you see any good qualities, then you just think, I'm so good, I'm so fortunate enough to see this my guru's good qualities. If you think that way, you train this in your mind, then it's possible you become like that. But of course, the best possibility is naturally you become like that. But even you with effort is worth to make effort to become natural like that.
So if the student increases their love, trust, and devotion in the guru, can the guru feel or know that? If the guru doesn't know, does the student still accumulate merit for their enlightenment?
If guru don't know what?
So they're wondering if the guru will know if they increase their love, trust, and devotion in the guru. And what if the guru doesn't know? Does the student still accumulate merit for enlightenment?
You have to learn this. Guru definitely knows, no doubt. But guru's knowing appears to you or not is your karmic version.
The next question is, you mentioned that we could have multiple gurus. Do we have to have trust in all of them?
You can have a different degrees of trust, different degrees of love, devotion. You can have all of them. Or once you have one guru, if you have this all, one others, if it's not zero, then is enough. The only thing you have to have a gratitude, whatever you learned from. I give you example. My early training monks, I received teachings from Lama's campus. When I learned much more, then only the appearances, I learned 100 times more than them. 100 times, or maybe 1,000. But I'm still considered they are my teacher, and I have gratitude, whatever they taught me in that stage. So like that way, you don't have to be everything is equal, but you have to have some positive in your mind.
So Rinpoche, on your Facebook page today, we had shared a quote on the 4 reliances. And so this has caused some questions because people are wondering, you know, they've been thinking about the homework and the guru. And in the 4 reliances, we say, you know, rely on the teachings, not the teacher, as part of the beginning of the 4 reliance. So, and then it goes deeper and deeper. So they're trying to understand how to reconcile the meaning of the 4 reliance with the guru. So they want to understand.
Okay, that's very easy. When you think about the teacher, when you think about the teacher, not the teacher means you judge when you investigate in the teacher before become your teacher. You evaluate your teacher. You should do from the teachings, not the titles and the monasteries, how big, and the reincarnation land, how long, and not those things. Instead, the teachings, meaning is like that, okay? It's not saying once you took as a teacher, then you disregard this person, you only take the teaching, not saying that. If that then is you treating like a master there, that one explain. You can explain shortly.
Yeah, all of the levels of the 4 reliances are actually all manifestations of the guru. It's just starting to understand the guru deeper and deeper. So it's pointing the guru is pointing towards your ultimate nature, which is the nature of the guru. So you're always relying actually on the guru. In the 4 reliances. It isn't separate from relying on the guru, but it's telling you to move beyond just looking for the teacher. You have to move deeper in your understanding, and it's pointing deeper and deeper towards the deeper levels of understanding. But
yes.
That's also the guru.
Yes, so for instance, they later on say, okay, you don't rely on relative truth, you rely on ultimate truth, which means you rely on what the ultimate guru, what is the absolute guru, not the appearance. You not rely on an appearance of the guru have problems and he has sickness and old age, all these problems normal human being had. That is appearance, that is relative. You not rely on that. You rely on the Buddha nature part of that guru, okay? So, and then we say, Nam Shila Mirtani Yeshilartan. So you don't rely on conceptual guru. Instead, you understand the primordial awareness of this Buddha nature, you know. But sometimes people have that problem as well. Sometimes say, oh, and then the guru appearance, they have the disrespect and disregard, and they say, oh, I have true guru, my inner guru. That's extremely arrogant and no humility. So that means you don't have even a basis on the relative truth. So then you think you rely on only the ultimate truth. That's also no good, unbalanced.
Okay, I think we'll do one more question because I'm trying to keep all the questions to this subject today. The last one is, Rinpoche, you've talked about this karmic version of the guru. Could you explain that a little bit more? Because this student's wondering how they leave behind their karmic version of the guru. Do they just practice and read the books and study the teachings? So I think explaining karmic version of the guru may be very helpful.
Enter, you are free from karma. You have karmic version of guru, your karmic version of husband, your karmic version of wife, karmic version of children, karmic version of everything. All of them karmic version, which means not real, not real.
Okay. So there's a couple more questions, but I think that you'll get answers in soon upcoming teachings. For instance, for those looking to understand how to practice Kalachakra more, you can come to Rinpoche's retreat this weekend from Friday through Sunday. Rinpoche is giving a retreat which talks about how we can learn to live and practice well so we can prepare to die, and then also what we can do at the time of death. So that will have a lot of the answers to some of these other questions. So I think I think we should do the, wait one moment, sorry, one more maybe from China.
Yes, until now we're talking about the preliminary of the Kalachakra actual practice. So the actual practice we introducing in the retreat. Okay, retreat on Saturday and Sunday.
So some people are wondering if they're far away from their root guru and they only see their root guru maybe 1 to 2 times a year. And so they're scared to reach out and ask the root guru questions because they don't want to trouble the root guru. Should they ask in their dream for teachings?
They ask, they're scared of asking, what do you say?
This person's confused because they sometimes see the guru in their dreams, and so they ask the questions then because they only see the guru in person 1 to 2 times a year, and they are scared or worried to reach out and ask questions.
Reject.
Yeah, they're worried to send questions to the guru because they don't want to disturb the guru.
Oh, yes. So the best, you don't care what dream you have. Okay, you're not relying on your dream. You're not thinking. You know, you know, if you have a good dream, then you okay, good, and you happy, a little bit happy. If you have not so good dream, you are not so happy. That's okay, but you better to not hang on this and too much give attention energy for this. That is the best. So, and then if you still you cannot do that, then you have to look in the book the Lama written book for you. So you look in there, you can see what the dream for. You can analyze. If not, then you discuss with your Dharma friends. So unless incredible important, yes, you don't have to ask a guru.
Thank you, Rinpoche. So I'm putting the link for everyone to say the dedication prayers inside of, it's inside of the Facebook comments, and also will be in the chat on, in the chat momentarily. Let's see. On Zoom. Yep, sorry, one moment, Rinpoche. I'm just getting everyone the prayers. It's a little slow today. Okay. By all these virtuous deeds of accumulated merit, may all beings be rescued from the ocean of samsara, where the tide of aging, sickness, and death is violently active. May this merit help all beings attain Buddhahood and be victorious of all the enemies of deceptive obscurations. By the goodness of what I have just done, may all beings complete the accumulation of merit and wisdom and gain the two sacred bodies. Whatever roots of virtue have been accumulated, now or throughout the three times, I dedicate them here so that all mother-like beings may attain perfect and complete Buddhahood. Just like the exalted ones Manjushri and Samantabhadra practiced, like them I rejoice in all the virtues still to come and fully dedicate them as well. In future lives, may I never be separated from my glorious Lama. May I never be separated from the joy of practicing the precious Dharma. May I accomplish all the enlightened Bhumi levels and paths and attain the Buddhahood of Vajrayana. As long as space remains, as long as beings exist, may I remain and expel their sorrows until they reach Buddhahood. May the precious renunciation arise which has not yet arisen, and may that which has already arisen not degenerate, may it increase. May the precious ethical discipline arise which has not yet arisen, and may that which has already arisen not degenerate, may it increase. May the precious bodhicitta arise which has not yet arisen, and may that which has already arisen not degenerate, may it increase. May the precious view of the emptiness arise which has not yet arisen, and may that which has already arisen not degenerate, may it increase. May the precious Dharma be respected and remain in this world, the only medicine and cure for suffering. The source of all happiness is the sacred Dharma. By the power of the three bodies of the Buddhas, the immutable truth of the Dharma, by the power of the inseparable union of the Sangha, may all our wishes be fulfilled. Just like the morning sun rising in the sky, may these teachings of the unsurpassable great secret of all the Buddhas spread and flourish throughout this world. Through the profound aspirations of the Bodhisattva kings of Shambhala, may we manifest the glory of the second golden age in this world. Om Svasti, Dharmakaya truth body, primordially free from stains of elaboration, inconceivable treasury of spontaneous clear light, perfect pristine awareness of wisdom and compassion, appearing completely as the body of the deity, Guru Kalachakra, please protect us. Virtuous friend who with the two dharmas transmits an ocean of nectar, the compassionate blessings of Manjushri and all the victor's children that manifest as a magical display of enlightened activities. Beloved guide of incomparable wisdom, may you live a long and healthy life. Endowed with Samaya, Vajra disciples gather like clouds, roaring like thunder, the melodious sounds of Sutra and Tantra ring out, and the ambrosial rain that ripens and liberates moistens the earth. May the great lotus garden of the Buddha's teachings flourish for all time.
Thank you.